Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. My name is Trey.
I am Rungren.
We got some stuff to talk about. At the top
Yes.
of the show here, we'll bring it up again at the end before we get into our pop quiz. We are going to be taking some time off. So this week will be a regular week, but next week we will have a Monday stream and a Thursday stream. Week after that, we will have a Monday stream and a Friday stream. Take 2 weeks off of 3 streams each per week. Keep that in mind.
Put the butter away.
Yeah, believe it's
Gosh.
not butter.
Well, apparently it is.
I quizzed you in the pre-show. You ready to give me a quiz? And
Yes.
you did like 50%, I think. So
But I didn't get anywhere near that, Trey. No, I didn't. Thank you. I appreciate your confidence.
I couldn't keep up with which one was which when I wasn't looking at the screen.
Yes. I don't know a whole lot of Gundamese. Said it before, even though I've known a little bit more of it now. Still, I can ask where the bathroom is. Probably shouldn't order off the menu. I don't speak it that well. Okay.
Well, you know it. You'll have Thank Holland in front of you.
Yes. Go ahead through that. Oh. All right. Now let me make my little march down through here.
Okay, nope.
Give Faith a chance. Take care of her butter.
Lock that butter up behind bars.
All right. All right. So, if your musical tastes were Corbantic, would you like a rock concert or would you like a symphony?
I'm gonna say a symphony.
Well, what you said is wrong.
That's fair.
Yeah, Corbantic means wild
Oh, okay.
and frenzied.
Nice.
I don't know. Maybe there is some classical pieces that, like, if there may be, if and it just happens to be somebody who actually knows classical music, it's like there are some pieces that are great, wild, very wild.
Welcome back.
Strike on now. We're going with the rock concert. All right. So, if you've ever watched late night television, okay, you've seen a this is hard for me to say, Trey.
Okay.
I've got notes. Ascendimenticite. How can you spot them? Excuse me. I'll try to say that correct again. Ascendithias. Ascended. ECCEDENT. Right that? Ascendent.
Okay.
TESIAST. A science. I can't really put it together.
Okay. How would I know that I've seen them? That's the question?
Yes.
We
need to get this word down right. We need to get this word correct. Yes.
Okay.
A scene and essidentiast.
Okay.
Dentiast. Yeah. An essidentiast. Yes. Using an essidentiast. All right. I got it through. Thankfully.
I'm going to say it is a scene transition. And I'll know I've seen it because we've gone to a new scene.
You'll probably be able to pronounce it better if I show you if I showed you the word. But also based on what it actually is. So anyone with a phony, fake, or put on smile.
Oh, okay.
All they are, yeah. If they're a phony, they're phony.
Thank you.
They are that big long word, very hard to say. I like the big words, but oh man, I've done this to myself as well. Okay.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to whatever version of the words gets turned into when either Remas or Dark watches this later.
I gotta put my glasses on for this. Okay. This.
That's what
I'm
you do,
sorry.
outlaw.
I'm a nerd. Can't help it.
Fair. That's fair.
Voila. Okay. So, getting all this information together, going through, I indulged in a a veritable orgy of flow C Nancy hyperfilification. So what was I doing?
What was the start of the question again? I lost it in the big word.
So getting all the information together for this pop quiz. I indulged in float flochi. Sorry. Flochi Nazi Flochi Nazi hilipilification.
Let's say it is where you are completely inundated with your own work. You've gotten so deep into it that it's all you can think about and all you can focus on.
It's organizing something that's kind of useless. It's just kind of
Okay.
trivial.
So my life, in other words, organizing that.
Yeah. Now you have a word that defines it.
Yeah.
And I can't even say it. Okay.
Hey, I'm right
These
there
words
with
are
you,
hard.
Faith.
They're hard. Look, this I don't expect anybody to get anything else. Really, I wouldn't have. I know some of the quizzes that are done okay on. This is not one of them. All right. So if you woke up in a state of anorexia, would you scream for your medication or just lay back and enjoy it?
I'm gonna go with lay back and enjoy it because I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say that word means a state
good.
of half wakefulness where you have a dream that is too good to leave.
Yes, it means awakening in a blissful state as if from a pleasant dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job, man. I got one. Let's do that. That's what that is. I said I'm not responsible for the pronunciation of these words.
We got one, Faith. We're in it. We're on the board.
All right. That was that one.
And we got one, not seven.
There. All right. So if you were Gabrinus, would you feel more likely to go to the bedroom, the kitchen, or the bathroom, or the laundry room?
I feel like that last one's there just to throw a bone in it. I'm gonna say if you're Gabrinus, you were overtaken with the desire to fold clothes and you go into the laundry room.
That would be awesome. I wish that was the answer, sir. I wish that was the answer. No. It means full of beer.
Oh, okay.
So try to choose a bathroom before any others. Yeah, there's a word for that.
Nice.
Gabrinus. Yes. Okay. Okay. So look, if someone called you a bladderoon, would you take it as a compliment?
A bladder room.
Fair enough. Yes.
Yes, I'm gonna
Bladderoon.
take it as a compliment because I'm gonna say bladderoon means that they think that I am efficient at eating food.
Okay. You may still take it as a compliment, but it's really not meant as that. A bladderoon talks on and on incessantly. Yes.
So it's me anyway.
Yes. But more like like an annoying insurance salesman that won't.
Yeah.
Okay. More on that, along with that. Okay. Not bad. All right. So often, uh, after a big party, the hostess might find a culisino or two. Are any of your guests likely to call to ask if they left one behind?
Olicino.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that is no, they're not likely to call. I'm going to say a Colosino is spilled drops of liquid.
Not bad. Pretty close. I'm going to give you credit on that one because the question was whether they call back. They are the marks left on furniture from wet glasses.
Ooh.
That's what the coasters are for, okay, people?
So, yes, hello, Rimas.
It's the, all right. Okay. Not doing bad. We've got 3 more, man. We went through that. You do pretty well.
This one's fun.
You can count that one as 2. You've got 2. You have hit your average, man, on a very hard quiz. Very good. Many workers in Las Vegas lead a like nobody experience or existence. Is that true or false?
I'm going to say that's true, and it's that they work at night, but they're not nocturnal because it's so bright.
Yeah, well, that's close. They sleep in the daytime and work at night. That's true. So, yes, it is true. Very good. Very good. You're doing good. All right?
Nice.
If you're a quinquagenarian, have you hit puberty yet?
No. That is someone who is below the age of 10.
No, that is somebody between the ages of 50 and 60.
Ah.
What was that? Okay. Last one, man. You actually beat your average. It's a very tricky quiz. Yeah. All right. And this is this you should get, okay?
Okay.
Because you, of course, know where to find your glabella. It's written all over your face. Look in the mirror and browse around. It will suddenly hit you right between the eyes. What is it?
The glabella?
No, it is not. It has nothing to do with sporting goods stores. Glabella.
I'm going to say that is the bridge above your nose between your eyes that hair grows on sometimes.
Very close. Actually, the thing that most people have, not everybody does, and everybody's is not as clear. It's the clear patch between the eyebrows. On through there. Look, you didn't do too bad on that. Not too bad. I'll take my glasses off to you, sir.
Thank you.
That was a very tricky quest. Lots of big words you had to go through. And you did better than normal. That's excellent.
That was really fun. I think a lot of it was that you were clearly doing your best, but those words probably shouldn't exist.
One of them, like 35 letters in it there, like the second or third one. I don't like words like that. That's not fair. I am not Welsh.
Unfair, gook.
Good. No,
that's a lot of damage.
A lot of damage indeed. This faith is redeemed. We don't have Gundam tonight because I had to take last Thursday off, so we didn't watch Gundam then. But we'll have Gundam Seed soon.
Yes. No, like of course.
But that means we're going into weeks. Watch it right now. Yeah, just middle of the podcast.
Hurry up, Rundgren. Okay.
Did get a hurry up. How's your week been, sir?
Not too bad. Didn't get to watch Gundam. I did like the Lotro.
Come on, Trey.
A real cool section we did. And we've got the 2 others, like, hey, go save these towns type thing. It's like, get this taken care of. Make sure this is good. We're going.
Yeah, I like that. It's been a really fun section of story.
Do that. Been doing, me and my girlfriend been playing Don't Starve Together.
Yeah.
Again, got a different world. I really like the way this world has worked out. And it's kind of, there's lots of stuff you can really customize the world to run around in. And so it is kind of planned that the world was supposed to look like this, but the way stuff was laid out was not, and it's really laid out kind of cool.
Awesome.
for it. So that one's been a lot of fun. I have been making a little bit of music. At maybe in like 6 months, maybe I can get the album out. I think
Nice.
to that, but I'm like real close. I'm real close. Um, Comparatively speaking,
Right.
that I'm closer than I was last week. So there's that. Going through that. I'm trying to think of anything else on that I've done that was really worth mentioning, and I don't really do. I mean, we did at normal Sunday night role playing
Mm-hmm.
thing.
That was fun.
Game. Gone through that, and that's basically covered it. I got a bunch of papers I got to fill out and check on some things for myself, but that's like business boring stuff, and I don't want to think about it.
That's
I've
fair.
got one packet. I got 2 more packets I got to fill out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Faith. I appreciate that. On that, so I will try to get it. Try to get it out through that. But that's about been my week. How's your week been, sir?
Been pretty good. We finished the Chaos missions in SD Gundam.
I'm so proud.
So we are done there for a little while. We finally, after 5 weeks of not listening to Will like we should have, we finally listened to Will and learned to target the head to do a bunch of extra damage.
Look, there's people I would never question if they gave me like straight advice, right?
Yeah.
That is one right there.
Yep.
If I'm doing what you were doing, and I know if I ask a question about Gunpla,
Yeah.
I don't know what I have these people in my life is wonderful. But goodness,
Yeah. No, it wasn't even like stubbornness on my part. It was just stupidity of like, I know the options there where I can target the head on the big enemies, but it's easier to target the leg, and I'm just not thinking about it.
This isn't Dead Space.
Right. Over the head.
Yeah.
But as Remasa said, now we're done with that game for a while. I love that game in a lot of ways. This playthrough also made me hate that game in some ways, because all of my little issues that I had from my first playthrough continued to snowball. The fact that you finish a mission and you have like a minute and a half of the characters talking before you can leave the mission, just really frustrating. And it only got more frustrating as the like, hey, we're playing every mission again went,
Look, we have the technology today. If you want to say no skip cutscenes first playthrough, fine. I get that. You can do that. But if there's a save there where the game has been beaten, allow that people to skip the cutscene. They know the story.
Yep.
They're playing the game because it's fun. It's just dumb.
I agree. It would have been much faster kills. That's very true, Will. We probably added an additional hour over the course of that entire playthrough by not targeting the head, for how long some of those fights took. But
Well, then. It's all right.
we learned in the final stream.
Lessons learned. Yes.
And then, as you said, we played some Lotro. I've still been really enjoying Lotro as well. Working my way through all the Rohan quests. Really satisfying. Learning all those little stories. And like we talked about yesterday, it all kind of built up to that big moment where, like, hey, I didn't even question. I knew this is why the people don't trust Theoden,
Yeah.
Good stuff. Skip.
You got to be careful. Any game, you got to be careful with the dialogue. And that's obviously not the only game that's has a problem with that.
Right.
We're sitting there waiting, trying to get through because you're wanting to actually get to the play parts.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're playing the game, you don't know the story, and you're sitting back for it. Those cutscenes are, and extra story stuff. That's cool, but once you've seen it, why?
Yeah.
Let's do it again. I want to blow stuff up or go hunt, go kill, and all that stuff. Yeah,
I agree.
It happens.
And
And look,
Love Church.
I like the love story. I'm playing that for the story.
Yeah. No, that's one where they're like, I will probably skip some dialogue on other characters, right?
Yeah.
But I'm probably not going to skip any of those voice cutscenes. Like when I get back to Edoras and see that cutscene again, I'm not gonna like walk away and let that play in the background. I'm gonna watch it again.
Fair enough.
But there's an ad coming in a little bit, but I think I can get through this next part of my week real quick. Yeah, why can't you skip on Battle Alliance? Is a very good question. I played some more Horde mode for 40K with my little brothers Thursday when I was watching them, and I built some new models for it. My Crisis suits.
Yeah.
So these
I need
are
one of those for when I have a crisis.
mechs with big guns, you know.
Oh yeah.
That one's got a flamer. And the
Wow,
third one
no
of the
way.
set. I like them a lot. Size-wise, they are pretty big comparatively to a Space Marine.
Yeah.
I am a Gundam.
I am a Gundam indeed. I like them a lot. I got to play them in my first game playing with my Rubber Robots in 40K, and I lost almost the entire squad, but we got to almost completely kill a Screamer Killer in shooting in one round.
All right.
And then my commander got to, as he was falling back, bring up both cyclic ion blasters and just shoot that Screamer Killer to death. It was great.
It was epic.
Screamer Killer's a big monster with 4 arms and a bunch
Yeah.
of psychic damage. It was great. I love all my armies, but I love one army now most of all.
Because they did it. Because that happened.
That's about to change, Remos. There's about to be a new combo box come out it's gonna be a bunch of melee units for the Tau at time. Then I can run them in front of my mechs to die while my mechs shoot things.
I don't want to scratch the paint.
Yeah.
See. Ad.
The ad is just about to end, and it says it's ended, so I'll go ahead and get into the next game I've still been playing, which is Helldivers II.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Web.
I got the autocannon, which is like you're supposed to have another person help you reload it, but you can reload it on your own.
Is it you gotta set it down or something?
Yeah, you like, it's a heavy gun, and you have to stop and reload it on the ground while things are coming towards you. But if you have a second person, they can reload it while you're shooting. That thing, game changer. Big old mobs start charging at me. Chakunk, chakunk, chakunk.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
very nice.
And, we
It's
got...
amazing what a good Jakunk will do.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
We got some more Helldivers news coming later, so hold on to that.
Ooh-wee.
Um,
Ooh-wee.
But there was some weird stuff that happened with the... So that Helldivers 2 has a game master, like an actual physical person that does all the events and stuff that go through the game. And people were a little upset because at one point they set up an event and it was bugged to be too easy and it got completed almost immediately. And so then like he bumped the completion rate back so it would go a little bit longer. The railgun, oh, I want it. It's still like 8 levels away for me.
Look, I haven't seen a game yet where, like, I got the real gun.
Right.
They usually tend to work very well.
But the second time that people beelined the objective and completed it, they didn't push it back anymore. They just said, okay, it's complete for everybody. Even people that didn't get to do the objective. I logged in and just got the reward.
Ta-da.
Nice. That's awesome. And then the game launched with daily objectives that you could do. That were like a little bonus thing for you, and like they were specific to you. But those were bugged, so they took them down. Those are back in the game now. So I did a very easy mission earlier so that I could run around solo and just throw eagle strafes at things until I got my 100 eagle strafe kills. And it felt great. Love that game.
Excellent.
And then the last game that I've been playing this week is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I'm not going to talk too much about it here because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. I am firmly into Chapter 1. It is really hard for me to just go do story in that game because it is the world, some of it added, right? Not all of it exactly as I remember, but it is the world partly as I remember it, open.
Yeah, it was an open world game.
Yeah.
It wasn't 3D as it.
Well, that's what I
seemed.
mean. It's now I'm in the Nibelheim Mountains, you know?
So now is when is this the game that's got you to the point of like, okay, now you can go ahead and plug me in.
Yeah.
This is the world I'm running around.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
In a lot of remakes, it hasn't been. It is not. That's true. A lot of remakes, it hasn't been, hey, this is 1-to-1, right? Like, that's one thing you and I talk about with Lotro that really impresses me, is that in Lotro, when I get to the top of Weathertop, that's Weathertop. I can see the view from the movie, basically. But with all the stuff that's in there, when I get to the trolls, that's the trolls from the book, right? Like, I'm finding that, and that's what this is like for me in a lot of ways. There's a cutscene very early on where, for anybody who's played the original Final Fantasy VII, when they leave the first area, they go to a little town called Calm, right? And there's a wonderful little shot in a cutscene of them walking to Calm, and they pass by a wall that is partly broken. And I know that wall. I've seen that wall. You know, I've been to that wall. And getting to see it in 3D was just like, it's the wall, man.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. I said it yesterday. I cannot judge this game the way that I do every other game, and I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna enjoy my time with it. There won't be a first impressions. There will be a in progress review at some point.
Here's my review. It's the greatest game they've ever made. Shut up. You don't know. Bye.
Yep.
You go play.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Love that game so far. Attack on Titan walls. It's not that big a wall, but no, it is wonderful so far. I am, for anybody who knows the original FF7, I am in the middle of the flashback right now. And that is all I will say because I do not want to spoil anything for anybody. So,
who is he really?
So good so far. But that's pretty much been my week. I did want to give a quick shout out to, I've still been watching Taskmaster. I adore that show. We're almost done with season 16, which is the last season that's been put on YouTube for British Taskmaster. And then we're going to go watch Australian Taskmaster, which has been uploaded on there. So it won't be the same, but
I think every nation should have a Taskmaster series that should be broadcast.
I agree.
That should just be the free public channel listing. You get that, and then local news at 6 and 11 or something like that.
Yeah.
The rest of the time it's that Taskmaster from just different places in the world.
Yeah. I think they tried to do a US one, and the people were too mean. And Alex Horn was uncomfortable with how mean everybody was to each other.
No, you're supposed to be mean.
Yeah, but it's like mean in jest, right? It's not.
I don't know. Maybe they just didn't know how to be mean.
Maybe it could also just be. Oh, go ahead.
Look, if you're quick and mean, you're gonna tick somebody off or make somebody else uncomfortable. So,
it could also just be that Alex Horn didn't find American humor very funny.
Maybe not. Yeah, I'll tell you that.
I like it. It's a really, really enjoying Taskmaster. It's been great since season 1 in my mind, and
Fair enough.
I won't say that the current cast of 16 is like my favorite cast or anything, but it's really hard to beat season 4's cast. But it's a good cast.
I'm not sure what my girlfriend's exact favorite seasons are, but if she starts this season and says the words, "It's Noel,"
Yeah.
that's one of them.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's going to be one of her favorite seasons.
That's fair.
I don't know how many that is. I just know that's a fact.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into reviews. Last week, nobody got any. So I didn't have to clear the wall off this time. That made that easy. Didn't need any soap and water and rags this time. Look, I wanted to have reviews really bad for you this week. So we have some games that I don't know
Pick that number, Faith.
are going to be quite as interesting as normal, but maybe that'll make it more fun. Because we're starting with Expeditions, a Mud Runner game.
Okay. Now, Expeditions is a long word.
Yeah.
Mud Runner can mean a couple of things. Depending on whether or not you're trying to avoid the law.
I do have a little blurb for you here from the developers.
Good to give, yes.
So, Expeditions, a Mud Runner game is an upcoming vehicle simulation game developed by Saber Interactive and published by Focus Entertainment. It's a spin-off in the Mud Runner series, which is a series of open-world, expansive racing games.
Okay.
If you've ever heard of Snow Runner, this is one like that.
Fair enough. It's same thing, just cold. I don't know. Faith stole my number. I had a good number at a time. I'll go 73.
Okay.
Ramos went 73. I won't share my ice cream.
Score is 79.
Oh, okay. Sure is fantastic.
So, What If Gaming says Expeditions, a Mud Runner game, is an excellent addition to the Mud Runner series that retains the core. Don't talk about that like it's a series everybody knows. Come on. I'm not saying it's even a bad series, but don't talk about it like it's an excellent addition in the Final Fantasy series, you know? Anyway.
Yeah. See, this is what happens when he starts on one of these Final Fantasy games. Everything goes there.
It's an excellent addition to the Mud Runner series that retains the core experience of trekking through hazardous terrain while adding new tools that push you to become creative with how you maneuver around all sorts of obstacles. Scientific research backdrop leads to greater missions variety, and deeper customization allows you to make each truck your own. A great place for newcomers to the series and a fantastic new adventure for veterans alike.
That guy works at the company.
Right. Shack News says Expeditions, a Mud Runner game, is an interesting iteration on Saber Interactive's earlier off-road simulation titles that brings some new features while keeping the core challenge familiar to fans of the series. There's a lot of content available, though much of it inevitably boils down the main concept of having to deal with hard environments. Most of this works reasonably well, but some of the new additions feel a bit light and not as fully fleshed out as I'd like them to be. Overall, it's an enjoyable experience, but only the hardcore fans of the series are likely to make it through the hundreds of hours spent climbing over rocks and sinking into pits of mud.
Okay. Now, I may be a little bit biased towards this game as I see it unnecessary. There is a certain breed of human that thrives not far from here in parts around here called redneck. You have to be very careful around them. They're kind of wild, but not too bad. And I could probably enjoy this in real life if I ask the right questions.
Yeah.
You know, make sure I made the right hand signal, whatever. I don't know. They're different. I'm just going to say that. You know what? 80. 80.
Okay.
80. Somebody's gonna be like, you know what? Play it. Maybe it's one of those.
Maybe. The score is 85%.
Okay. It really is one of those. Yeah, you know what? Play it games, I guess. Okay.
Play it for yourself,
That
and you will
was good.
see.
Got them big old tires on it, man. We ain't gonna get stuck. Don't let off of it, man. You stop. You stop. You just stunk. That's it. You're done. Stay on it.
I know you'll be excited for this next one. It was one off from Waverly's answer,
Yes, it was.
which is WWE 2K24. They're still making these.
97. I don't need anything. I'm sure it's that great.
Oh, Reeboks.
Come on, that's the greatest thing ever. No. I imagine it's a little bit lower than that.
Nope, I accidentally hit the button again. We gotta wait for the.
We don't need a remix version of the act, okay? You know, I hear you. I hear you, Will.
The score is 82.
Look. Oh, okay. Look, if it must not have Roddy Piper in it, because if it did,
Right.
it'd be the score that Will gave.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So, as long as we're in agreement, you may proceed.
So Noob Feed says, looking at WWE 2K24 thus far, it seems like they're relying a lot on that successful formula from 2K22, and now we might be seeing even more improvements. With everything being said, it's undeniable that 2K24 proves to be successful in every conceivable way. With its impressive graphics, realistic simulation, and plenty of gaming features, what does that even mean? 2K24 is undeniably a fantastic game. Those who are passionate about wrestling or who follow WWE will find that 2K24 is a purchase that's well worth making.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
I love it when my game has features.
I know, man. Forward thinking. That's what they can do in this day and age. Give your game features.
Outer Haven Productions, still 99, says 2K24 is a fun game with some of the best graphics in a wrestling game ever made. However, the game is too bloated with game modes, many of which you are forced to play in order to unlock content you already paid for. 2K games need to stop nickel and diming players after the fact and refocus on giving players the best experience for their dollar.
So, yay, it has features. It has too many features.
That's what it seems
All
like.
right. All right. Well, that exactly. That's why we're on the same page here. So I'm gonna go with a 93.
Score is 92%.
Yeah. Who got the ice cream? Somebody
Right
picked
there.
92.
Faith got
No.
nice.
Faith got the ice cream. I was gonna say because somebody picked that number. That's why I had to go one above. Faith.
Faith got the ice cream.
Fine. Fine then. Keep your ice cream.
For now. Next up, we have the Thaumaturge.
Ice cream. Ice cream. Ice cream. The Thaumaturge.
Yeah, this is a weird one. So it is an isometric, story-rich RPG with a unique take on turn-based combat, character development features, and investigation mechanics, facing you with morally ambiguous choices. That's their blurb on Steam.
I don't know if I've heard a blurb scream, just please buy our game, more than that in my life.
Yep.
We're not sure if it's good or not, so we're not going to really tell you anything about it, but this is all the styles of game it is.
You should still buy it, though.
Yeah, please buy it. All right. I'm not sure. 50 for more. That's a fair score. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I'll go 70, 74.
Okay.
74. We'll give it. Let's go with the 80 out there. I see. That's a good score there.
Score is 77. Faith gets second ice cream.
Look. This is not looking good. 2 ice creams.
I had to answer that word.
If you say so.
So I got some blurbs for you.
All right.
As usual, one of them might be more helpful than the other.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
The first one is from Games Creed that says the Thaumaturge is a masterpiece of a game. The game has a rich story filled with suspense, mystery, and a cast of unforgettable characters. The game uses a historical setting in such a way that is both based on reality and also in a way that melds the spiritual elements perfectly together. Now, none of these blurbs gave me the information that I really wanted, which was what is this game about? But what I can tell you from my own digging is that you beat monsters and then you can summon monsters.
Okay. Nobody's ever done that in a game before.
Right? Game Mag says the Thaumaturge is another example of a game whose developers had a good concept in hand but failed to bring it to fruition. Diving into the world of semi-alternative Russian Empire and Polish nationalists turns out to be an entertaining, albeit specific, experience, which was spoiled by unsuccessful implementation of progression and battles, as well as poor work with Unreal Engine 5.
Okay. Where did Russia and Poland? You know what?
That's the historical setting you're in. It would have been nice if the blurb from the developers mentioned that.
Yeah, that kind of struck me out. I was like, wait a minute, what? When? Now when is this happening? Now I need to know.
That's why I had to
what
include that
year?
blurb.
What
Otherwise-
years is this going on? Huh? Are there Scythians around the Black Sea? That's what I need to know. Probably gonna be a lot later than that, though, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, man. Yeah, it'd be a lot later now. I don't know. 82, I guess. 82.
Okay.
I don't know. I have no idea what to think of this game. Not that I ever do, but that's not the point.
Right. Score is 79. Faith got ice cream again.
All right.
Faith, do you have the page pulled up? You looking at the scores, Faith?
Yeah. Okay.
Finally,
Probably should have to move on now.
we have Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons remake.
Oh man, that's gonna get it going. That's gonna be like not rigged. No. You keep your ice cream. You want it. Okay. I don't need your charity. Man, I figure. Actually, I honestly think this game would have a good score. I'm gonna say like 92. Because I think like they would have to mess this game up. I think.
Right.
So I'm thinking like 92.
The first one is incredible. Score is 81.
Okay. All right.
So this was mentioned in a couple blurbs. I'm going to go ahead and tell you it now. They added co-op.
Okay.
That has been a little divisive among people because on the one hand, sure, I guess so. On the other hand, I think it undermines the major moment at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So,
Well, not only that, one of the things that made the game special was the movement scheme you use controlling, each with one controller.
Yeah.
I don't know that I don't see the need for that.
Yeah.
I didn't take anything away from the single player game, but still, that's
Right.
not strange. Okay.
So just as an instance of one of the reasons why the score might be a little bit lower, you might have expected.
Maybe so.
GG Recon says every beat of this game still lands, and the developer was right not to fix what was broken or what wasn't broken in the first place. Developing and refining the definitive version of Brothers. If you have never experienced the game before, you owe it to yourself to strap in for an evening for a beautiful story that will drag you through a motley collection of emotions. Which I agree with, actually. If you've never played the game, you should play the game. It's very, very good. But our other blurb is from GameSpew, which says, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons remake feels like a missed opportunity to build on the unique concept of the original game. It could have been expanded with new scenes and situations to provide fresh new challenges and keep players on their toes. Given the success of A Way Out, It Takes Two, more work could have been done to make its co-op mode much more intuitive and enticing too. As it is, it's successful in beautifying the original game, but nothing more, unfortunately. And I understand the idea of being like, well, this is a remake, this is not a remaster. Why didn't they do more? I don't think they needed to do anything to the game, personally.
Fair enough. I'll stick with an 82.
Okay.
We got the scores in. What's up?
Yeah.
All right.
Score is 80. Congratulations, Remas, also with an ice cream.
All right. Fine. That's good. Y'all have your ice cream?
Faith did not sit on the tower of ice cream alone.
No.
All right.
All right.
It again was close, Waverly, a couple times, but
yeah,
would be a cold one.
Probably so, yeah.
So we have some announcements here, and we start off with kind of a small one, but it's a good one, right? Pseudo Regalia, a game that I played for first impressions. A really weird and cool idea, trying to make a game that still looked like a PS1 game today, but played like a game of today. Not just like, oh, it's what you remember PS1 to look like. No, it's actually what it would have looked like, you know?
Yeah.
It's a fun game, but it had some big glaring issues. The biggest one being there was no map. And so that's what this update is. It adds credits to the game. It adds a mini map. It adds time trials. It reworks the lock-on camera. It lets you have a button to be able to like recenter your camera. Added keybinds and a couple small changes to gameplay to try and make it a little bit more easy to use some of the abilities.
Quality of life updates, Trey. That's the hip phrase you're looking for. If you want to be in
the qual updates.
Well, now you just sound silly. But keep going.
But just some nice fixes here and there. One thing that I really like about reading the deal is this game was made by like one person, and so it very much is written as this person telling you, hey, and this is what I did, and then we did this, and also there's this, and it feels so interesting when we cover the most boring patch notes in the world most of the time. So, but if you put that game off way back when because you didn't want to deal with not having a map in a castle that was kind of confusing, there you go. Might be time to go back and check it out. Then we have a announcement of Trails Through Daybreak's release date, which I'm very excited for. It's going to be a very busy year for me this year in gaming, but I'm excited about it because it is July 5th.
Okay.
Which is big time Dawn Trail Final Fantasy 14 expansion time. It'll work out.
You're busy, huh?
Yeah,
You got some stuff to. I got games to play.
a little bit. But stoked for that. And then lastly, mechs are coming soon to Helldivers 2.
Okay.
Remos had told us
Trademark.
soon trademark, unfortunately.
Okay.
Remos had told us that, there was an update coming, and we were like, oh, well, maybe it'll be the mechs. It doesn't look like that individual update is going to be the mechs, but they are rolling them out soon. They've got stuff laid up to be able to put them not just fully in the game, but also to be able to have like support stuff for them. And I'm excited.
Right.
Run around in a mech and crush bugs.
You have fun, sir.
I want to be this against the Terminids like I was this against the Tyranids.
Right.
What I want. And that's all our announcements. Just a little fun. Hey, we got some stuff, Well, no, I didn't mean it as like you told us they're coming this update. But just like, you let us know that they had an update coming. So I'm still excited for that update because the update is supposed to be patching some of the guns. Right now, there is a gun that has negative armor penetration on accident. It's bugged.
Yeah.
And so it bounces off of armor when it's supposed to penetrate them. And I don't just mean it bounces off of like armored enemies. I mean it bounces off of all enemies. It is functionally useless right now.
Yeah.
So that'll be a nice patch. So into the news. Man, these are Breaker, my beloved, social be dethroned. Yeah, the Breaker is pretty great. Let's talk about Temtem.
Okay.
Because that's one of the big news topics here this week. There's been a lot going on with Temtem. I haven't brought it up over the last couple podcasts because I wanted to see what they were going to say first.
Okay. Fair enough.
Basically, Temtem came out of early access, and 1.0, right? It got a lot of push when it did. And then conversations about it kind of died, right? It has slowly been putting out more and more content. They have almost put out the last promised content from the Kickstarter.
Okay.
Over the last 3 years, they haven't managed to fulfill all of those promises yet. I don't want to make it sound like they're not trying, because obviously they are. The stuff's coming out. But there has been a shift in the way that the Temtem community has reacted to each substantial update that's come out, as it's taken longer and longer to get 1.0 as was promised, now that we're on update 1.8. And I just want to, again, not trying to bash these devs or anything, but after 3 years, they're on 1.8.
Yeah.
There's a lot more content they talked about making that has not happened. And when I talk about content in this game is billed as a massively multiplayer monster collecting game. They have not yet added another island or more Thames to the game.
Yeah.
They're not gonna. That's their statement. Their statement is they're not gonna. And it's been a really weird conversation because the CEO put out a thing that was basically like, hey, you all are bashing us for no reason. Let me explain to you why all this other stuff hasn't happened. It's expensive to make new content, and we don't think it would bring more people back. Sure. So then they announced a roguelike instead in the Temtem universe. And now they've announced they're working on a different new Temtem game that's not Temtem 2. And obviously this led to a lot of backlash.
It should, yeah.
So then they put out their final response, which is the one I was waiting for, right? And this final response is not great.
Let's hear it.
They started off by asking the question, is Temtem an MMO? Because one of the major complaints has been you build yourself as an MMO, and then you haven't had MMO content updates,
Yeah.
they go on to show a screenshot from 2018 when Early Access launched, right, of Kickstarter, showing that they never claimed to be an MMO. That specifically, they want to be a classic adventure game with a focus on the story campaign, but with online elements. Now, that's all well and fine to show that from their Kickstarter page, but as you know, I don't like just letting things lie in a simple answer like that. So I used the Wayback Machine, and I found early marketing materials from 2018 that show that they were billing it as an MMO.
Oh, look at there.
You have IGN's like interview with them and their early access review about is this just a Pokemon MMO? And then they get into, how, well, it's not just Pokemon, but it is going to be an MMO, and you're going to be able to play with other players and trade with other players. There's no offline mode even now. It's still 100% online. Yeah, it was billed as an MMO. All of the promotional material, it's got the MMO tag. Again,
no, yeah, you're a bunch of liars.
Bunch
of scamming, bunch of liar faces.
Yep,
you are.
So then it gets into their response on like, well, since we're not an MMO, we couldn't afford to put out that kind of content. We didn't have all the extra monetization stuff that other MMOs have, which is, again, not correct. There are microtransactions in the game, and there's a battle pass in the game. Now, one of the good things they're doing with the shuttering of further content is they're removing the battle pass and the microtransactions, and they're making it where you can get everything in-game. But they're not going to make it offline, and they're not going to give you the ability to make your own server, and they're still just going to be running the servers. But they tell you, don't worry, we have no plans to shutter Temtem anytime soon. It will run in perpetuity. Then, in the next paragraph, they tell you about how they're not making any money on it. Mm-hmm. You can't say those things back to back like that. So yeah, there's specifically one thing I want to highlight here where they say, lastly, for both Islands and Tims, games that are designed to continue receiving content updates forever are designated that way from its inception. This is not the case for Temtem. We didn't create Temtem with the idea of expanding its limits forever. When we created the Kickstarter page, we had a clear goal of 141 minimum Tims. We ended up with 161 or 165 and 6 islands. But there was constant talk over time of like, hey, if the game does well, they're gonna support it long after release and add new islands, and
it wasn't what it was supposed to be at launch.
Right.
It wasn't like it was like short, but yeah, and by the time they did probably try, by the time they tried to right the boat, so to speak, nobody cared anymore.
Yeah, it was too late, and unlike Hello Games, they didn't continue working on it even though it wasn't making them money to make the game that they had originally promised. It was, no, here we go. It's just, we're stopping, Also, thank you for that follow, your boy Coop. I didn't even see the notification come up. I was too busy talking. I'm sorry. But it really just, because they keep going then about like, well, they're going to be making more multiplayer content. And they make a comment here of how they're in technical debt. And every new kind of content they add makes the game more buggy.
Look, man, I hate this.
Yeah.
It is not the public, it's not the consumer's fault.
I agree.
It is not on the consumer to feel any kind of remorse or pity towards the company.
Yep.
That's on you. It doesn't matter why.
Yep.
You failed.
It did. It also really doesn't read very good to me when the previous statement from the CEO of the company, of Crema, was like, well, you guys are just being too harsh on us and we've had a lot of backlash. And it's like, and then you put this out. And it's like, no, you're clearly just trying to push it on us because you don't want to admit that the game failed.
Look, people are stupid, but people aren't stupid.
Right.
I don't know how, I can't clarify. I don't know how. Maybe don't treat them. We can all agree people are stupid. Don't treat them like they're stupid. Maybe that might be a better way. Oh man, that's just ugly, and it's not. I think the thing is, it's not uncommon, right?
Yeah.
This is not the first time we're reporting on the story. We're not like, oh my gosh, how could this has never happened before?
Yep.
Yeah, well. What now?
I do want to give you some of the comments from the responses from people on Steam. Because I think some of these are very funny. One person just says, "There's a typo in your title." Another person says, Tim was a great concept and a great game, but unfortunately you killed it with the massive microtransactions that were forced into the game. The poor Luma Umbra system that's based on luck, forcing the player to waste hundreds of hours on monotonous activities. The weekly and daily missions that were all the same, and again, monotonous activities. I don't know about you, but in my time, games were produced to be fun for the player. Just throwing monotonous stuff and gotcha stuff just to have a different color for a Tim is not the right decision to fill the game with content. Which I just, thought was really great.
Yeah, that's a crap situation.
I got one last comment for you, and then it's not gotcha per se, but it is gambling on kind of like when you go for a shiny in Pokemon, except they give you items to be able to make the shiny rate lower instead of being astronomically high, but they don't give you those items. So you just have to keep breeding or just keep running into them in the wild until it happens. This last one is a quote, right? With the game servers perpetually online, we're not contemplating an offline mode. That said, we completely intend to uphold our promise that we'll always provide a way to play Tim. And then the person says, I really do hope that if you guys close the server for any reason, you'll update the game to provide some offline mode and also some way for completing achievements offline. Because as it stands right now, even if you were able to somehow make your own server, you wouldn't get achievements in the game you paid for. So, that's Tim. Remember when it was going to be the Pokemon killer?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Everybody who said that was delusional. So, this next story is also not super fun, but hopefully the last one we'll be able to get a kick out of. Now we have Pal World. It is really hilarious to me that they waited until after Pal World released and saw the effect that had, and then we're like, look, we're done.
Yeah.
Pal World's also in early access. Guess what? It's a well-designed game.
Yeah. Apparently it's fun for people. What a concept.
Yep. Well, when you talk about fun, you got to talk about Nintendo. So let's talk about Nintendo and Yuzu. Have you been able to follow this story at all with Yuzu emulator and?
No.
Okay, so this was kind of big news right towards the end of last week, about like Wednesday, Thursday of last. I guess it's not the end, middle of last week, right after our podcast, basically. Nintendo sent out a cease and desist to Yuzu, which is a emulator. It's not just an emulator, it's also like a program that allows you to hack your Switch to be able to get the BIOS off of the cartridge.
Okay.
So it was Yuzu the emulator, but also Yuzu the instructions built in for how to get your code off of your own cartridges. Now, it was really handy.
You can run Opera wherever you want to. I don't.
Well,
understand.
it's so if you want to play your Switch games on your Steam Deck or on your computer, you could, right? You download Yuzu and then you break your cartridge. You don't break it, but you rip it, to be able to get the BIOS to be able to play your game. That's also against Nintendo's policies.
Yeah.
They don't want you ripping the BIOS off of a game because theoretically you could turn around and sell that or give it to somebody else.
Theoretically.
which was happening with some people, but we're going to operate under the assumption that the vast majority of people were just ripping their own copies, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, Nintendo was not happy about that. And then Yuzu had a couple other things that made Nintendo very upset. And I don't want it to sound like I'm defending Nintendo here, because while I understand why they did what they did, it is still a huge loss to game preservation to lose this entire archive, right? There'll be people that'll fork it. It will survive, but
Yeah.
Yuzu had a Patreon. So they were making money off of this software.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Now, they said that it was because of the sheer amount of work that went into it, and so it would allow them to work full-time on it, right? But
was it just so that was... No, because that should fall under donations.
exactly. That's legally, it is not they're getting paid to do it. They are being supported to do it. But Nintendo didn't like it either way.
Yeah.
And then the nail in the coffin, as it were, that led to Nintendo, moving forward, was 2 weeks before the release of Tears of the Kingdom popped up on Yuzu.
Yeah.
And so it took Nintendo a while to get their lawyers into gear and make sure all their legalese was covered, right?
Right.
But the big statement, and I saw a lot of people memeing on this, but the language of it should not just be understood as what they said. It should be understood as, and this got out early because of you. But the lawsuit was on 3 big points. It was on, you are allowing people and teaching people to break our code and break our policy.
Yeah.
You are getting paid to do so and paid for our intellectual property. And you spoiled Tears of the Kingdom 2 weeks before its release.
Well, that's going to go into... They can count that as monetary loss.
Right.
Because if they can argue that, hey, that led to any kind of decent loss in sales, that's going to go through.
That's right.
That.
Exactly.
Yes.
There was no real way to argue it, right? Because technically what they are doing with Yuzu was against Nintendo's policy because it was breaking the cartridge.
Well, yeah, but it's hard to have a good analogy to it. But if somebody was, standing or at a shop down from your house where they're selling keys to your house, it's like that, they're paying for the keys.
Right.
So what's the problem? I don't know. It's kind of a strange thing. Understandable on Nintendo's part. I think that's a little bit of... I think there was a line that Yuzu obviously crossed.
Right.
And I think they could have gone much longer had they not. So.
And they knew they crossed it. As soon as the DMCA went up, Yuzu stopped doing everything they were doing. All of the staff stopped any more ROM work or supporting anything like that. And when the lawsuit came in, they put out a thing that was like, hey, we don't support piracy. Because, of course, they have to say that, right? They covered their tracks, and they settled out of court because of it. It was just going to cost them too much money to fight Nintendo, and they weren't going to win. So they settled out of court for $2.4 million in damages, which is still a lot of money.
Yeah.
They have to destroy all of their back-end stuff on Yuzu that they have. Obviously, people have already downloaded a bunch of that stuff. But the actual Tropic Haze devs, that dev team, had to sign affidavits saying that they would never work on a program like that again with Nintendo's intellectual property before they were allowed to settle outside of court.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a pretty big settlement, and it is a precedent that has led to other emulator teams stepping back and be like, oh, we're going to be a little bit more careful. Because it didn't just kill Yuzu, it also killed their 3DS emulator, Citra. Citra wasn't doing any of those things. But because it was attached to them,
yeah,
it had to die.
Right.
But If that was just the end of the story, then we could have said, hey, it sucks, but it would have been better for game preservation if this hadn't happened, but I understand where Nintendo's coming from, gotta move forward. Nintendo stopped there, but you can't stop the grifters. So within 24 hours of Yuzu going down, Nuzu and Suyu had gone up. Nuzu was ran by a 14-year-old man, or boy, I guess, who made a Patreon before he'd even done anything else.
Oh, okay.
And tried to use the forks that he had from Yuzu. He got called out on it, and to his credit, he deleted it all. I think he was like, hey, we're going to build a team, we're going to do it again, and they can't stop us this time.
Yes, they can.
They could have. Somebody talk some sense into him.
Want to stop.
Yeah. The other one is a little bit more nefarious.
I'm sure.
So Suyu is it's already been taken down as well. Yeah, and Ryujin X it works fine. Just if you still need it, you want to be able to take your ROMs from your games that you bought. Ryujin X does not break them the way that Yuzu did. It still works. You can do that. Suyu, they didn't double check the license for their stuff. Instead, they just took GPL3 and changed some of the license tags to try to make it look like they had paid for something. And then all of the readmes are still Yuzu. None of them have been changed.
Lovely.
And in the statement from Suyu, they specifically say that nobody on the team is a skilled programmer, but they believe with what remains of Yuzu, they're going to be able to pull it off.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
Yeah.
Well, then I don't want you setting my leg, thank you.
My favorite thing about this is that the Suyu one, nobody's supporting it, right? Nobody's moving forward with it. Because everybody's like, no, look, we know. Because the guy who did it is an avid user in r/pirated games and has been in the Yuzu community for a long time.
Look, the only thing he did was pick a good name.
Yeah.
The name's perfect.
Yeah. So he'll probably get sued next because he's not covered his bases. But, it just...
Anyway.
That's the Nintendo and Yuzu stuff. A lot of people are really mad, but, look, you cannot literally have an LLC for an emulation company for a console that is the current console and not expect the people that own that console to get upset with you. I'm not defending Nintendo, but...
I am a genius. Jines.
Mm-hmm. I want it to go on record that I think taking down Yuzu is a net, loss for the game preservation side of things. It was the easiest way to take a Switch game and be able to play it on anything else. And 20 years from now, when the Switch doesn't exist anymore and you can't buy those games anymore, it would have been the best way to still play them then, if we have our current amount of technology.
Well, they'll be in the public domain in 2063, something like that. 2067. Yeah. Anyway.
But at least you might be able to find some way to play it then.
Maybe then, yeah.
Now, those last two stories were a little heavy, right? Give you some things to get upset about. So this one I thought we would just have a good time talking about. Oof, indeed, Will. Talking about, I'm not going to use her name here because I don't want to start a witch hunt. But let's talk about the fake Monster Hunter Alatreon blindfold stream. So, Alatreon is a very difficult monster in Monster Hunter World.
Okay.
And there is a streamer that has fought Alatreon a lot on stream. So when she put up a blindfolded stream fighting and killing Alatreon, people were shocked. Some big streamers like Asmongold picked up the stream and were like, oh, this is crazy that she can do this. But you could see multiple times in her celebrations when she would move the blindfold down and before she started that the blindfold she had was very thin. And she was playing the game like this. So she could see the screen, right?
Yeah.
No question there. She could see the screen. People called her out on it, and she put out a announcement video of like, on this day she's gonna do it again, but this time there'll be multiple levels of failure checking where everybody will be able to see she's actually blindfolded, and she cheated again. So that's fair. I also assume you're not wearing a blindfold. I will say allegedly cheated only in that I don't want heat from it, but look, I'm about to give you the reasons why she probably cheated.
Yeah. All right.
So in this stream, her levels of check, right, to be able to make sure everybody could tell she wasn't cheating, was she had, oh yeah, all the big streamers ate it up for sure. She had a thicker blindfold. Specifically, it was one of those sleeping mask style blindfolds that goes on your cheeks, you know?
Yeah.
Then she had paper over her monitors, so she couldn't see the monitors even through the blindfold, right?
Yeah.
And then she had an input deal on screen where you could see the input she was using and you could see her hands the entire time. Play with mouse and keyboard. You might be thinking, how could she have cheated with that? Well, you remember how she had an input reader on there where you could see her inputs?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see when she drags OBS to another monitor that's off screen. You can see when she clicks, holds, and moves to the right. And you may say, well, Trey, that could have been it. She could have been clicking, holding anything. You don't hold a mouse click for most things. Normally just moving things on your desktop. Anyway, even if she had been doing that innocuously and it had nothing to do with it, she was reading chat off the third monitor. Yeah, she was using Oculus. She was reading chat off of the third monitor. You can tell the moment when she catches herself reading chat off the third monitor because she pretends like she hasn't seen it and then pulls up the paper on the left monitor so she can see what chat says and then responds to that comment. So she just like cuts off halfway through the comment, pretends like she's talking about something else, and then goes and responds to the comment.
Genius. Jines.
During the stream, she sat like this.
Yeah, that's comfortable.
So she can see through the blindfold.
Yeah.
Through the bottom of the sleeping mask to that monitor. As if all of that wasn't enough proof. About 2 hours and 25 minutes into the stream, when she, gets her kill. And we'll get into the gameplay in a minute. This is just all the physical proof, right? She holds her phone up to the screen to show her phone, and you can see, just like you can see in mine, the reflection of OBS, you can see in the reflection the third monitor. That doesn't have any paper in it, or over it.
Yeah.
Now, all of this is just the physical proof that proves that she was cheating. The actual gameplay was proof enough. There are so many times that she refocuses her camera. Why would you do that if you were blindfolded? Why would you? She menus perfectly. There is no like sound notification for where her items are or which ones in which order on the menu. She menus perfectly. She always seems to know where the head is, even though she's blindfolded. So either she's psychic or she's cheating.
Well,
So yeah, she cheated. And the thing that is like really terrible about all this is that the sheer amount of effort she put into cheating this,
yeah.
when she's actually really good at the fight, and she probably could have done a blindfolded stream anyway. It wouldn't have been perfect. It wouldn't have been this clean, absolute beauty of a fight, but she actually probably could have killed it blindfolded. She's very good at the fight.
Well, I don't know. She's cheating then?
I don't think so. That she wasn't wearing a blindfold or anything then, so...
There's more than one way to cheat at a game.
That's true. She could have had somebody else playing or had aimbot on or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Wow.
it's just a mess.
What a terrible person.
But
Okay.
it is hilarious to me how many times she got caught in the stream that was clearly like, this is going to show people they're not going to catch me this time.
I am smarter than all of you.
I also think she made a really bad choice in like specifically saying that two people were wrong about her cheating. And those people are the number one blindfold speedrunner in the world. It's Jubzia. He can do blind speedruns of Super Mario 64, blind speedruns of Ocarina of Time, And then, Carl Jobst, the guy who helped reveal all the stuff about the completionist. Maybe don't say those people are wrong. Because all that did was give them more reason to hunt down what you did wrong.
That's just crap.
So, and that's correct, Remus. That is correct. Because we're even calling it into question now.
I'm calling it a question of ability on the game now.
Yeah. Why cheat about something like that? Why even, like, fame, right? But still, like, it's not like she's a small streamer.
The core of it is she believes people are stupid, but she forgets that she is people.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And that's why she looks stupid even among the stupid.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Gotta remember that people are, like you said earlier, people are dumb, but that doesn't mean they're always dumb.
Don't treat them like they're dumb, though. Call them out.
But that was the last bit of news that I had for you this week. It was just too ridiculous not to cover because why? So, do you have a fun or terrible or terrifying or horrible story for us tonight?
Come on. We always start this off with the birthday.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm jumping to...
Yes, you're jumping ahead. I got to do my part. I got a docket here, and I'm sticking to it, okay?
Yes.
Fair enough. All right, today's birthday. It's Penn Jillette's birthday, and he has nothing to do with either pens or razors.
Oh.
He's a magician.
Oh.
And you need to know how old he is. It's exactly what Bill and Ted are thinking of, the number they're thinking of. So happy birthday to Mr. Gillette, and say hello to Teller for me. I'm sure I won't hear anything back from him because the one called Penn Gillette. Penn and Teller. And that Teller's the one that doesn't speak. That was funny. Huh. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure he's got a magic show or something tonight. He's busy.
Yeah.
Anyway, he'll probably watch this weekend and catch up on it like that. And so, when you do, sir, happy birthday. I know how it's important, for people to know that I'm thinking about them on their birthday.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a story I got for you. I think I may have found this year's story of fine I'll do it myself.
Okay.
All right. So this story involves Charlotte. And now Charlotte is a rust-colored stingray about as big as a serving platter. And she lives in an aquarium and a storefront in North Carolina in the Appalachian Mountains.
Okay.
All right. She's 2,300 miles away from where she would be, where they live, Southern California. The water's there, California, down there. With that, now she, as I said, she's stingray. There are sharks in the tank. They don't mess with a stingray. They're small, 5 others, but no other stingrays at all. None at all. No stingrays. Nothing. And she's pregnant.
Okay.
Sometime in the next 2 weeks, she will give birth to 4 pups. I said, yeah, it should be coming out real soon because I found out on Valentine's Day.
Nice.
Now, despite whatever kind of mind-altering creature you might think is like, well, there's sharks in there. No, that's not what happened. Though, as part of this story, an expert stingray, somebody who was an expert on stingrays, made a the name of the expert is Brenda Raymer.
Okay.
Made a joke about, well, it must have happened with one of the 5 small sharks that should have tanked, and that actually got reported by a couple of news agencies that the sharks, but that's not what happened. All right. It is the process of parthenogenesis. So there's no male. There's some fish, insects, amphibians, birds, and reptiles been known to do this. No mammals ever been recorded doing it. There's actually other documented examples of California condors, some water snakes that did it. Happened, but as far as it's known, though, this is the only example of this stingray species doing it.
Wow.
Or I guess technically not doing it.
Right.
But but it is that little group of that little family of animals, which probably not families, might be genus. I don't know what it is. I don't know how that thing works. But other sharks, skates, and rays have had this happen before in human care. But yeah, it was as far as 2024 goes, that was the biggest. Like I said, fine. I just do it myself.
Yeah.
A moment I could find. So
Life.
good luck, Charlotte. Congratulations. I'm sure she'll watch this weekend too. She's probably busy.
Yeah. I'm watching Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Apparently, life will find a way.
All right. Well, we'll throw it over to the outro then. We'll end a little bit early tonight.
Fair enough.
But tomorrow you'll still be doing the Forgotten City.
Yeah, I'll run around that a bit.
I saw you got the bow a lot sooner last Wednesday, so that's some more.
I know what to do now.
More options now with it, maybe.
Yeah. I'm trying to get it. I think I'm gonna try to get old dude elected.
Yeah.
The Galerius or whoever it is.
Yeah. Be cool. And then Thursday we'll be talking SCPs.
Yeah.
Dr. For Entertainment. A couple others. In fact, I've got that list here. I can go ahead and tell you which ones they are. If we get to cover all 4, it will be pages.
Dr. For Entertainment, we know is one.
Mm-hmm. And then we have. I really need the ability to bookmark each one separately on here. But a good boy. Well, that's next. It's next week. Story of Your Life, and I thought I had 4. Dr. Wondertainment, A Good Boy, Story of Your Life, and it might just be 3. I thought I had 4, but it might just be 3.
I don't want this story of my life. I've seen it in 3D. It's not very good.
Oh, Project Palisade. That's the 4th one. I'm sorry. Project Palisade. I just caught up to that joke. I'm sorry. Then Friday we'll be doing Infinite Craft. We're gonna try and Infinite Craft some Gundams.
Okay.
Next, thank you. Next Monday we'll still be doing Lotro, but you know, next
There's levels.
next Tuesday and next Wednesday we won't have a stream, and next Friday we won't have a stream. I know that's confusing. We'll have a stream Monday and Thursday. The week after that, we'll have a stream Monday and Friday, and then after that, we'll be back. We'll have 2 weeks. So they'll have 2 streams a week for you, so you'll still be getting at least roughly 4 hours of content from us, and then usual upload. But I feel like there's something I'm forgetting. Is it? Think of anything?
I don't know.
Do you have any plugs or anything like that?
No, I think we covered everything.
All right.
We did.
Well, then until next time, I've been Trey.
I have been Rungren.
This has been The Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. Life. And life finding its own way has to offer.
And I don't.
Yeah, check out Rungren's channel. Link it right there.
Thank you. Thank you.